What is going on, guys? It is MurderInc here, back with another Raid Shadow Legends video, and today we have an awesome video for you. Today I'm going to be showing you probably the luckiest 10 pull you can get in this game, period. Now you might be thinking to yourself, Murder, how is that possible? There are so many champions you can pull, there's 2 times events that can be going on, every account's different, every champion can affect that account differently, so how can you possibly say you've had the best 10 times pull possible? I'm going to show you that next. I'm going to show you who that champion was in this next clip, so let's go ahead and take a look.
One eternity later.
Alright guys, so as we saw, and as you saw my unbelievable reaction as far as I didn't even know what to do. As soon as I saw that I pulled the fusion, I was like, what is happening? So this is what I'm calling the greatest pull you can possibly have in Raid. Why is this the case? A few reasons. Let's not jump to conclusions here. Pulling a fusion is very strong, however it's definitely annoying if you do it after the fusion's over. The reason why this is the best pull you can have in Raid whenever you're pulling shards is because the amount of resources you save by pulling the fusion is incredible. It's really incredible, especially early on into the fusion, and as we can see based on when I'm releasing this video, the fact that I've already had this champion, I got him very early into this fusion, so I was able to save an amazing amount of resources. I'm not going to save them personally, I'm going to get the epics, make guides on you in case you want this champion, but outside of the pulls, there is something I wanted to talk about here. So while I did get lucky and I am calling this the greatest pull you could possibly get, being a fusion early on into the fusion, saving you all of those resources, I do want to talk about brogni because he is, in my opinion, the best fusion that's been in this game. Now when I say best, I'm talking about best overall. A lot of people, when they hear that, say, what about Rhodos? What about Tormund? Now those champions are fantastic, don't get me wrong, however they cater to a certain player base, a certain gear level required to really get maximum efficiency from those champions. This guy's a beast in progression, he's amazing in arena, clan boss, dungeons, faction wars, you name it, this guy is amazing in. If you take someone like a Tormund, everyone's going to shine in different areas, but brogni, in my opinion, is the greatest fusion we've ever seen because he's so versatile, covers so many parts of the game. Now this is where I want your guys' feedback and your guys' opinions here. I'm sure everyone's been talking about it. If you haven't, you've probably been living under a rock. The event itself, a lot of people said it's extremely difficult, possibly too difficult. Is it justified for this being, like I said, in my opinion, the strongest fusion that we've ever seen hit Raid Shadow Legends? Maybe besides Sir Nicholas. This is actually a champion I would compare to Sir Nicholas. Sir Nicholas was void, so there might be a slight edge there. However, that was beta, so it's not technically part of the official game, which is why I didn't count that. But I do want to talk about the difficulty of this fusion and let me know what you guys think. There is no room for error here, and it's, to my knowledge, the first time they've done this since Raid has been a game. Am I a fan of this? Yes and no. I'm a fan of this, yes, because of how strong this champion is. I think he should be harder than the average legendary. Compare this guy to Pixneal. Come on, everyone can reasonably understand that this guy is significantly better than Pixneal, and it makes a lot more sense with this being difficult. And if you didn't save up resources, you will have to spend money. I have talked with quite a few players who are free to play, and they currently are on path to get this without spending any money at all because they did save. Now this is where the real problem comes in that a lot of people may be thinking about, but I haven't heard a lot about it. It's the placement of this fusion. I believe this fusion would have been much better even if they didn't lower the requirements for the fusion itself, if it wasn't released in between clan versus clan. That was a big mistake in my opinion, and also if it wasn't so close to the Yoshi fusion. When looking at Yoshi and brogni, those are very close consecutive fusions. There has been one double pair of fusions that have been closer, which has been Harvest Jack as well as Brachus. Brachus was labeled as a whale fusion, so as the players, we knew what we were getting into. We knew that if we weren't going to whale, we weren't going to go for Brachus. They gave us the courtesy of letting us know before they released Brachus and said, hey, it's for, I believe they used the word veteran players, and you would have to spend money. It was a very difficult fusion, definitely a lot harder than this fusion, but that's because it was just 5 days. after the Harvest Jack fusion ended. So I do believe that they should have spread Under Priest brogni out a little bit more from Yoshi. I believe that the clan versus clan should not have overlapped and been as active so close to Under Priest brogni. Once again, we are getting another clan versus clan war. This is going to be the global release during Under Priest brogni, so major resource drain on an already extremely draining fusion event as it is. So give me your feedback. Do you agree with me? Now, what they could have done is given us more options to get these fragments. I really don't believe this would have helped for a few reasons. Time is going to be the biggest factor playing against people. That's going to be reason number one. If they just released, let's say they added 5 or 6 more events to this, all it's really going to do is keep overlapping events, and you're gonna have to start picking between fragments you are getting for the epics. Now that may make sense for some people, however, it would also not make sense for other people, and it would make it overall harder. The only thing I think that they could have done better is lower the amount of resources you need to get these fragments, since now you're not only competing for a champion, you are competing for fragments for a champion. Now, yes, it does replace the fact of getting rares, having to level up rares, ascending rares, ranking them up, ascending them one more time, then fusing them into the epics. We are getting rid of that aspect. However, like we just said, you have to get every single milestone if you are not winning tournaments to actually complete this Under Priest brogni fusion event. So I do believe they could have approached this a lot better and lowered the requirements of all of these rewards. Now, this is the first time they've done this, so I'm sure they're noticing the feedback that other players and content creators alike are giving back to the game. Hopefully they do in fact listen. If they are going to do another mix of a typical classic fusion event as well as a fragment event, they definitely have a lot to do in this department, but the first thing that I think they should work on is making sure they're releasing it at a realistic time. Like I've already said multiple times, this was a terrible time to release, in my opinion, the greatest fusion that's ever been available in Raid. Way too close to the last fusion, overlapping with clan versus clan is just a nightmare. Especially when clan versus clan, all it is a resource dump where 2 clans are competing against each other to see who has the most resources. Yes, you can have an argument that you can be using those resources into the events for the fusion. However, that's severely limiting yourself in participating in clan versus clan. So outside of that, this is where I want to know from you guys. What do you guys think? What would you change realistically about this fusion? Do you agree that this was the worst time to release this specific Under Priest brogni fusion event, being so close to other events? And do you also agree with my point that there is no better pull than pulling Under Priest brogni as a fusion early on into a fusion event? I personally couldn't think of any other better champion you can pull that isn't specific. Obviously, people can say you can pull a Dracomorph, Valkyrie, whatever you want in a 10 pull. Yes, that would be nice. However, like I already said, there are champions that can do what those champions already do at a lower level, and you would get a small improvement to your account when pulling those champions. Perfect example would be if you pulled a Valkyrie and you're already using 2 man-eaters for clan boss. What's the point in having a Valkyrie? Yes, for arena, which is why I tried to stay away from the specific legendaries and why this was the greatest pull. So if there is a fusion you wanted and you pulled it early on into the fusion, it is the best pull you can possibly have. And to my knowledge, this is the first time in over 2 years that I've been playing this game where I've managed to do this. Before test servers were a thing, I was always known to hoard tons of shards, and as soon as fusions went live, I would start streaming on Twitch, opening all my shards, trying to pull all of the rares, all of the epics, testing them out, then feeding level 60 epics to make the fusion, then testing the fusion out. It was a lot of fun. It was very costly for me, but it was definitely worth it because I think I did help a lot of people out in getting those champion guides out early. I am going to be making a full comprehensive guide on Under Priest brogni. If you are going for this fusion, I'm going to release it closer to when most players are going to actually fuse this champion, so it is fresh in their mind when I do release that. I've been using him in every single aspect of this game. I'm really excited to show you that because, like I said, this champion is so strong and there are a lot of things that people need to know about this guy before they start using him, to making sure they're building him properly. Alright guys, that is going to conclude my video today on Under Priest brogni, my insane luck with pulling him early on into this fusion. Let me know what you guys think. Give me some feedback on anything I've talked about here today, whether it's the difficulty of this fusion, how good of a pull this was. I want your feedback. Leave a comment for sure. As always guys, if you enjoy this content, don't forget to like this video, subscribe, turn on the notification bell so you don't miss my next upload, and I will see you all in the next video.